Are we really?
Sorry for the headset. They just told me. Stand by.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Forsyth County News Media Day, coming to you from the campus of North Forsyth High School. My name is David Roberts. I'm sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by North Forsyth boys basketball representatives. I got head coach David Sokol, and I got senior Corey Seitz too. So we're going to get started, and welcome first off to y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to meet with us. And we're going to get right into it, if that's all right with you.
Yes.
All right. Well, last year was your first year here as a head coach at North Forsyth. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, what did you take away in your first year as head coach here?
Well, I've lived in the community for 17 years, so I have an idea of the background and history of North Forsyth basketball.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing we tried to do last year is establish a certain culture here. And I know we hear that a lot, and we'll continue to do that. As far as the kids, the players, they were fantastic. Done everything we asked them to do, and continue to do it. So we'll continue to progress and see what we can do this year.
Yeah. Corey, what was it like first year coach? How was that gelling with Coach Sokol here?
It was good. I think, like you said, he's just trying to build a new culture here, and I think that all the players that have been returning were willing to buy into that new culture and just try and change.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked a little bit about how you've been in this county before. You've been a coach here, so you're not particularly a new face. So how much does that help you when you hit the ground running last year as a first-year coach here, just having that landscape of the area?
Well, you're right. It is a great advantage. I knew a lot of the coaches, so I knew what kind of style that they play and the success the programs have. I coached at South Forsyth for 6 years, 7 years a while ago, so I knew the success they had there in that end of the county. So it helps, having familiarity of what they do. But more importantly, we wanted to focus on what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder, what the biggest difference is between, last year's team and this year's team. What have you seen so far?
Well, the biggest thing is they have a year under their belt. They know exactly what our coaching staff wants them to do, how to approach games, how to approach practice, what's expected of them, standards we have. And we have quite a few seniors this year. And they've done a great job as far as leading us on the court, off the court, whether that's this summer or up to this point. It's been good.
Yeah. So Corey, from a player's perspective, what's the difference between last year and this year's team?
I think, like you said, we have a year under our belt, and we know what's expected out of us, and we have a senior-led team, and I think that helps because we've all been playing together since freshman year, so we got good chemistry, and just we make sure we bring the energy every day, practice, and continue that to the games.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on summer a little bit. I wonder if I can get you to open up a little bit about what the summer circuit's like. And, once the season ends, do you guys still hold workouts? What's that like?
Well, that would be illegal to hold workouts. We in the off season in the spring, one of the main things we do, we give them about a month off.
Okay.
And then we have somebody come in and work the guys out as a whole, as a program. And then we continue with weight training throughout the entire year. That's been one of the focuses we've put this past 2 years is in the weight room. And I think it's paid off. In the summer, I think every coach has his own thing they want to try to accomplish. Some go to team camp. I'm still a big believer going to team camp and getting away from everybody else and just concentrate on the team. Next year, we'll have an extremely young team, so we'll probably play a lot of games to see what we have. So every year brings something different as far as the summer, what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, don't want to get you in trouble, coach. There.
That's right.
What positive? I know you got a few games underneath your belt at this point. What positives have you seen from the team?
Well, we've seen two extremes. We played a Centennial team where we got down by 18 in the first half and came back and won that game. So that showed a lot of resilience amongst our team and just fighting to get back. And then we played another game where we were up 20 and they cut it to I think 4 or 5 and we were able to hang on. So we still have a long way to go. I think every coach tries to figure out what they need to do to be successful before region play, and that's what we'll continue to try to do.
Right, that's why we play the game.
That's right.
And lastly, I want to ask you about your goals for the season. What are some team goals and maybe some individual goals for you, going into the season?
Right. Team goals, I used to be a big believer in, hey, we're going to set each goal, but we do it more of a day-to-day approach now. We're trying to focus on what we can accomplish in practice and then carry it over to the next practice and ultimately the game and just the idea of getting better every game. So it's not we're swinging 20 games. Let's just try to get better every game, and hopefully you doing that will result in a successful season.
Yeah, Corey, any personal goals for you this season?
I think kind of just like last year, try to get all region and all county and all tournament or whatever, and just be the best I can be every day, every game I play. And
definitely.
Like you said, just keep improving in practice and in games and take it step by step and day at a time.
Yeah. And lastly, I want to wrap up on this. For North Forsyth to be successful this season, the Raiders have to do blank.
We have to do a lot. One thing we do have to develop is our bench. We've got a lot of younger guys, talented guys, but we're going to have to get them in to get some experience towards the end of the season. And I've been a little hesitant getting them in there, but I need to get them in there, get some experience. So they can be ready towards the end of the season. So we need to develop a bench behind our starters. And that comes with a trust factor, a confidence factor, not only from me, but from them. They got to trust themselves and trust each other and build that confidence to have that success hopefully towards the end of the year.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Sokol, Corey, I just want to thank you both for coming in and spending some time with us today. Stick around. We're going to have the North Forsyth girls team coming to you next. So we'll see you then. everyone. Welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and I'm joined now by three representatives from the Lady Raiders at North Forsyth. Head coach Brad Cudless, senior Caroline Martin, and Ansley Allen, also a senior. Welcome. Didn't have to travel far for this one. But I just want to talk about the season a little bit. I guess we'll open up with you, Coach. You said in May that it felt like it was a dream job kind of coaching this, so I wonder why.
I've been at North since 2001. It's the only school I've ever taught at, and I've been an assistant coach throughout. So it's being able to work with the girls and being able to be their head coach is just an awesome opportunity, and I just really relish it. And especially these girls, we got a big senior group, and they're just a great group, and I've known them since they've been coming to like little kids camp, and so it's just fun to be able to experience coaching them and having them.
Yeah, how beneficial is that, being around the area and already having that relationship?
I think it plays a big part. I mean, people know that I'm here, that I'm going to do what's best for the team, what's best for the community. Here on the North End, we do a great job of supporting the teams, and you see a lot of people in the stands, grandparents and parents from old players that come and watch the games, and we just love that. We love having that support. And I think the girls and even the boys program, they feed off of that, and it gives us a nice home court advantage, I think.
Yeah. Caroline, Ansley, what can you say about the support? It seems like you guys got a lot of support. Certainly, winning does help, but do you feel that within the community?
Definitely, because even when we go in state run, then everyone comes out, and then it makes the game better, and you're not as nervous because everyone's there. Everyone's cheering for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just have a really awesome group of students and staff, and they always come to the games. Even Saturday games, they show up when we don't have school or they could be doing something else. We always have a big crowd at our games.
Speaking of support, where were you guys Friday night?
At the game.
Yeah, I figured. Well, Coach, you lost one player off last year's Final Four team. How high are expectations this year?
They're pretty high. I mean, once I got the job, there was a lot of talk about going back Final Four, and you got to be careful on those expectations. It's a new season. We have some new players coming up. They're going to play some big roles. We got a lot of returners and the roles are going to shift a little bit. But our biggest thing is just coming along and doing every day, getting better. Because I know everybody else is getting better. So we just have to put in a little extra work and do more, and then things will take care of themselves.
Yeah. I wonder how you stack up physically against the rest of the 7A. Is that something that you came into the season kind of working on, or how'd you view that?
Yeah, we have a new weight training coach in the weight room that's working with the girls. Some of the girls are IE squared, so they didn't have weight training. So these girls came in, we started in August, coming in the morning. I have 8 of them that come in, and we'll come in and work out, which it's been really nice. I feel like they've gotten a lot stronger. They do a lot of things a lot of pull-ups and bench, things that they don't like. But having strength is key when it comes down the stretch. It just builds so much confidence, and it gives you late in the fourth quarter that extra edge that you're going to need.
Yeah. Caroline, Ansley, playing that Final Four loss. Looking back on it now, what did you probably don't like to think about it too often, but what did you take from that game?
I think just a lot of times the further you go in state, the more physical, and you have to be a lot stronger for those type of games. Height isn't something that you can necessarily control, but how strong you are and the way you play is. So I think that has to change the further you go.
Yeah, you have to stay strong mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you get down, you're just mentally weak at that point.
Yeah. Probably didn't have much experience getting down that season. A lot of wins.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what's the biggest difference between what you saw last year and this year.
I mean, we're running a lot of the same stuff. We do the same. We're trying to get a lot of shots up and just mesh. The biggest thing is getting to mesh together. I'm having to play a different role. Before, as the assistant, things are done differently, and then as the head coach, you gotta change your persona a little bit. And I think it's working out good. We have a really tough non-region schedule. And so we started off with Buford, and then we got some other Lanier coming up and played Mountain View. So we're testing the girls early and getting them ready for region play, and then we want to be ready for the state run.
Any positives that stick out in the early run?
Yeah, I mean, we're working hard. It's some new terminology and stuff. I mean, the biggest thing is that we're seeing improvement every day, and that's a big improvement from the first game to the second game. And we did a lot of things better. We learned a lot. We understood that we're going to get everybody's best game, and I feel like we got a target on our back, and so we need to embrace that and just be ready to come work.
Absolutely, and I want to wrap up by talking about a little bit of goals for this season. I know we talked about expectations and how it's key to temper expectations and not get ahead of yourself, but I wonder what kind of goals you've set this year for the team.
You guys want to?
Any individual goals, team goals?
Team goals would definitely be making it to state,
Yeah.
far in state, hopefully going to state championship. I mean, we want to win Final Four again at least.
Yeah.
Not again, but win it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that just improving, we don't want, especially as seniors, it's our last year, and the past is important, but we don't want to focus on that. We want to make sure that our last year is our best year.
Yeah. Well, Caroline, Ansley, Coach, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to meet with us, and good luck this season. We'll be back with Central's boys next, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by Forsyth Central boys coach Brandon Hutchins. Tell me, first off, thanks for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Tell me who you brought with you.
I brought two seniors with me today. One of our leading scorers from last year, Brandon Scherer, and then our point guard this year, another senior, Anthony Rivetto.
Awesome. Well, welcome, guys. Thanks for absolutely. Thank you. Well, this is your first year at Central,
Yes.
and let's start off. I want to ask, why do you want this job?
Well, when I interviewed at Central and I met Dan Kaplan and Mitch Young and the rest of the administrative team there, I knew this was the place.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my biased opinion, but I don't think you can find a better administration staff throughout the state. And I was just blown away by what their vision for the school is, what their vision for athletics is. And I knew that day when I interviewed, that's where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Well, you walked into a pretty good situation. You bring back a lot of seniors. I know you got a transfer, Sutterth, I believe,
Yes,
at center. So can you talk about the makeup of this team? What you got?
Yes, we've got 8 seniors,
Yeah.
which is very good to have as a first year in the program that have experience. They've played. They've all been in the program. They've played. They've been very well coached and developed up to this point. And we've got obviously the move in Will. He's 6'9", which helps.
Wow.
We don't have a lot of size, so when he came in, we were very very welcome to get him, and he's going to be a good addition to our team.
Yeah. Well, guys, what's the biggest difference between this year's team and last year's team?
Definitely the 8 seniors coming back, a lot more experience, because we only had 2 seniors last year, so we're kind of knowing the game better and all that, so
Yeah.
helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of seniors on the team. You guys have probably been playing together for quite a while.
Right.
What's the team chemistry like?
A lot better than last year. A lot more like bonding off the court, more. So yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely on the court too.
Anything to add? Or?
Oh, that's I'm good.
Yeah.
You said
All
it
right. Well, what have you seen? I know you got a couple of games underneath your belt, some practice scrimmages. So what have you seen from the team so far?
I'm just blown away by these guys.
Yeah.
They've worked extremely hard. They deserve it. They put in a lot of time. They've struggled through some tough seasons. They want to win. They've done everything we've asked them to do. We're 6 seconds in a tip ball from being 3-0, which I don't think you can find a lot of Central teams in the past that have started 3-0 against 3 good teams. And they're just outstanding young men on and off the court, and they're just a pleasure to coach and excited to see what they do this year.
Yeah. No, talking X's and O's. What are some things that this team does well?
Well, we're guard heavy. They shoot the ball really well.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 16 years, and it's probably the best shooting team I've ever coached. We've got some guys that can really light it up. They like each other, which helps on and off the court. And they're hungry. They want to win. They want Central. For so many years, Central has been the bottom of the Forsyth County in basketball, and they're tired of that. And they want Central to be on the top, and that's what their goal is, and that's what they've worked extremely hard for.
Yeah. What would it mean to you guys to kind of see Central at that top, maybe winning a region title?
It'd be amazing because it hasn't happened like ever.
Yeah.
So, but I think it'll happen this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about goals and team goals, individual goals, I wonder where you put your goals or, the expectations in year one.
Well, I think it's the same expectations I have for all my teams that I coach. We want to win a region championship. We want to be the first one to bring it, in a while for Central. And these guys want to get to the state tournament, and they just don't want to be a one and done. They don't want to get in there and go match up against some team and get beat by 30 and then just take it to the house and be satisfied with doing that. If you want to get to the next level, you gotta have that goal that when you get to the state tournament, you're going to compete and advance. And I think this group, if we continue to get better and play together, I think they've got a chance.
Yeah, certainly some team goals. Any individual goals for y'all this season?
No, not any specific.
No, all team on.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well,
Good answer, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I want to end by asking, for Forsyth Central to have a good season this year, Bulldogs need to do blank.
Bulldogs need to play as a team. I think when I got in, I felt as a program they were kind of shattered. Everybody was kind of going their own way, and that's what we've done off the court is build that team camaraderie, build it more than basketball. And if they'll stick together and stay together and play together as a team, I think this team can go as far as they want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looking forward to covering y'all. Thanks for taking some time out of your schedule and meeting with us. And we'll be back with the Forsyth Central girls team in just a minute, so stand by. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now we're joined by the Forsyth Central Bulldog girls team. Welcome, Coach.
Hey, how are you?
It's
Thank you.
good to have you here. Who did you bring with you?
Today I have Tessa Ajabor, senior, and I have Elizabeth Pruitt, who is a junior, Aisha Dabo, who is a returning junior, and then Jillian Bretz, who is our sophomore.
All right, well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys had your first winning season in quite a while last year. How good did it feel to kind of put some of the pieces together?
It felt really good. I feel like that we had seen our growth in our building kind of over the last 5 years, continue each year, step by step, get a little bit better, and then we could see last year coming, which was exciting, and so it felt good.
Yeah, and anyone who wants to jump in, how did it feel to see Central play at such a high level?
It definitely felt really amazing. I couldn't play last year because I tore my ACL, but just supporting them on the bench and seeing them really use their full potential to go out on the court and do the best that they can, I was really proud, and I think they did really well last year. And I just hope that we can continue this process this year and do the same thing and more.
Yeah, how different is it this year getting to play?
This year it's amazing to play with all my girls. I mean, it's just the best thing ever, and I'm not going to take it for granted, and it's just amazing, yeah.
Yeah. What are some things that you missed with Tessa being out last year?
Well, for one, with her tearing her ACL like 2 weeks prior, it was quite a bit of a hit for us, just from the get-go, from the beginning. So again, we had to adjust from what we had anticipated. And so that was one thing, just facing that adversity from the beginning of our season. And then, of course, she's very athletic. She is a great shooter. She handles the ball well, and she's a great rebounder. So, we missed that, being able to play her on the inside and also to have her on the outside, helping us.
Yeah. And to those who played last year, what was the biggest challenge last year? Obviously, that's a big one. Rebounding. Yeah. Is that a little better this year?
Yes, a lot. Yes. We've been working on it a lot during practice, boxing out and rebounding, just being more physical. So that's a lot better this year.
Yeah, was that a big emphasis in the off season?
Oh yeah. We have, and as we've started this year, just the fact that we recognize that sometimes we're a little too nice, and so to be a little bit more physical and and not shy away from the contact and being a little bit stronger. On both sides of the rebounding, whether it's offensive or defensive, it's going to give us more opportunities to either get the ball or to score on the other end.
Yeah, certainly. And, obviously we were talking to the North team a little earlier. Obviously they've kind of set the standard over the past few years. How do you all stack up against North this year? I wonder if you can give us a little preview into region action.
We feel like that with last year, our team being considered a young team and a team that obviously was hit with some adversity at the beginning of the season, and that and with that being a team that hadn't played a lot of games together, that now we go 1 year later, we're getting Tessa back. We we have more seasoned players with we're more heavy in our seniors and juniors than our freshman and sophomore class, which is what we were last year, that we feel like that we should be able to continue to grow and get stronger as the games go by. We, as the season has started out, we had a great first week going 3-0 and playing a really tough team on Saturday of Madison County and being able to win that game. And then, and we just feel like that as the season grows from what we see, that by the end of the year when that region tournament comes, we're going to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go around the room a little bit and talk about goals this season, maybe team goals, individual goals. But what do you guys, have planned for this season in terms of goals?
Well, I mean, almost just like what I said, is that of course we want to do more than what we did last year. We want to take that next step. Sure. The next step would be to again play in that region championship, and then to not only just be better in the region championship and compete in the region championship, but also to win that region championship and then to go deeper. We're one point short from making it to the next step in that state tournament, but that clearly is something that we want to make sure that we do this year also.
Yeah, Tessa, any individual team goals?
I think a team goal would to win region, And I think a lot of our individual goals consisted of being more aggressive and being more physical. I think that's an individual goal that I specifically have for myself too.
Yeah,
So yeah.
definitely. Individual team goals?
Yeah, like play more together, like trusting each other with the ball, having each other's backs.
Yeah, definitely.
I say a team goal is winning the region championship,
Yeah,
and we want to be the top team.
yeah. Any individual?
Staying consistent.
Okay, good deal. Team
Yeah,
individual?
team probably win or get to the region championship, and then individual probably focus more on defense than offense,
Yeah,
so be more aggressive.
definitely. Well, that's something to keep an eye on. I want to leave you with this question. For the Bulldogs to have a successful season this year, they must do blank.
I think that we have to be more physical. I think that not only do, in being physical, that in our team we have a lot of skill.
Yeah.
And with that skill, we have to, remain together, and we have to find that continuity to play with each other and trust each other throughout the season. One of the best things about our team is that we have a team that really does care about each other, and we have to make sure that that always shows on the floor and that we're playing for each other, which I think that, they are definitely the team to do that. Of all the teams that I've been able to coach, I feel like not only are we skilled, because I've coached teams that are skilled, but they've sometimes missed that component of actually playing for each other and not being so concerned about me, but more we. And I think that as long as this team does that and they focus on the we more than the me, then I think that we can be as successful as that we set our standards for.
Definitely. And looking forward to seeing you all out in the court this season. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedules to be with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Stick around. We'll keep going with Forsyth County Media Day after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now we're joined by the South Forsyth boys team. Coach Scott Givens, welcome in.
How you doing?
Good, good. Who'd you bring with you?
I got Thomas Stocks here, who's a senior, and I got Nate Hammond here, who's a senior as well.
All right, a couple of seniors. Welcome, guys. Well, I know you just got some football players back. Let's start with that. How does that? I wonder how that changed the team dynamic.
It changes the team dynamic. Devin McLaughlin was a all-region player last year as a sophomore, so he gives us balance too because he can score the ball inside, and he also blocks shots, alters shots. So he's obviously an impactful player. Gavin Morris is a guy that is a good defender. He's young, but he's got a good body. He's a good athlete. But he's a little banged up right now from football, so it may take him a few weeks to get, transitioned into basketball. But we're excited to have all our guys, and we're excited to have our full complement of players.
Yeah, so playing without those guys, excuse me, while football season was still going on, did that kind of give you a chance to try new things or try different lineups?
Yeah. We've experimented with a lot of different lineups in practice. We would like to play fast. That's the plan. That's the intent. And when we play smaller, we're going to play faster. But in basketball, you've got to adjust because you get sandwiched between football and you get sandwiched in between baseball. So I'm pretty flexible, and the team's flexible, and it just is what it is.
Yeah. Well, guys, you got a little more size now. I wonder what you've seen so far through the early stages of the season.
Well, I mean, with us being smaller, we kind of struggled to rebound, but with Devin back, that's going to help us a lot. But we could experiment, bring other kids off the bench in, and other kids get more chances to help us do what we need to do to win.
Yeah, and with both of you guys being seniors, what's the difference between this year's team and last year when you guys were juniors?
I mean, last year everyone was kind of no one really played varsity, so we were kind of getting used to it. And we're kind of now we have experienced, so we're now have higher expectations.
Yeah. What are some of those expectations?
Well, obviously, our goal is to be the best team in this county. That's a goal we have every year, and we want to be a region champion and do something that hadn't been done since 1998. So that's something that is, these guys hear me talk about a lot, but it's not going to be easy. I think this region is the best it's been since we've gone to the Forsyth Milton region since I've been at South. I think it's by far and away top to bottom, and I say that because every team has good guards. You've got a couple teams who have some really good post players that play inside. I think Devin's outstanding. I think Colin Granger's outstanding. Sites here at North Forsyth is an outstanding player. So, I saw Central the other night against Gainesville, and Central looked really good this early in the season. I just think there's depth. All 6 teams, and Milton. Milton is good every year, and they do it with different players, but they're good every year, and they're going to be tough as well. So it's a good region, top to bottom. A lot of good players.
Yeah, and you hit on the guard play, and I do think that's something that a lot of these teams have is good depth at guard. So how do you all kind of set yourselves apart from that and kind of give yourselves the edge?
I think we're just a scrappy team. I think we kind of take on a mindset of, we're trying to earn respect. I think that's what it is. I think we're trying to earn respect. We've kind of been middle of the road the last few years, and we're trying to break through. We've accomplished some small term goals, but there's some bigger goals that we still want to accomplish. And it's a scrappy group. They play hard. And again, going into this year, we've got a lot more experience. Last year, even our juniors were very inexperienced. We started a freshman. We really only had 2 guys returning that had varsity experience. This year, we've got a lot of guys with varsity experience. So I think that's going to benefit us. I think we're more resilient. I think we handle adversity better. This past Saturday, We had we had a good win against Centennial, and I think we got in a situation where we got in a little bit of a bind, but we handled things well, and I think experience helps with that. Because it's a players game. That's what it is. Players play, and players have got to make plays. Coaches are very, very important, but the players are even more important, because those are the guys that go out. They got to go out and compete, and they got to go out in crunch time and make plays consistently.
Yeah, and you got a couple players here. I wonder if you can give me a scouting report on what you do well on the court.
When we start moving the ball, that's when we can find the basket a lot easier than when we shoot too quickly or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially we want to play hard defense so we can get steals and stuff, and then we can get down and we can score points fast. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Is this season sort of about getting respect for y'all? You touched on it a little bit, how you've kind of been middle of the road. Is that something you'd like to change?
Yes, sir.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. How do you go about doing that this year?
We're looking to surprise teams, because teams they're gonna overlook us, and they're not gonna think that we can compete at the top of this region. So we're looking to surprise people.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, I want to wrap it up with talking about what you guys need to do well this season. You talked about it a little bit, but if you could sum it up in one or two words, if South Forsyth is going to have a successful season, War Eagles need to do blank.
First off, you got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
You got to stay healthy, and we just got to play at a higher level more consistently. And that's really ultimately what it comes down to. We've got to play at a higher level more consistently. And again, I think the experience will benefit us from last year. We took some lumps last year. We probably were a little ahead of schedule last year, just realistically speaking. And that's why our goals last year, we had goals, obviously we had goals, but this year we have the expectation in that locker room is a lot higher. I think from player to player, obviously the coach and staff, it feels different for us this year, and we're excited. We're really, really excited. We got a good schedule, and again, it's a good region, and we'll be starting that in a couple of weeks. It ain't that far away. We get past Thanksgiving, and we're playing Lambert first game out, and then we come to North. So we're really, really excited about this year. I'm excited about this team. We have a high character group that works hard and gets after it, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, looking forward to seeing you out there. Thanks so much for joining us. And stick around. We'll be back after this short break. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News. Right now I'm joined by the Lady War Eagles, led by Keith Gravitt. Welcome, Coach.
Glad to be here today.
Glad to have you. Well, will you start off by telling us who you got today?
Yeah, this is our seniors and captains for this year's Lady War Eagle basketball team. Beside me, I have Kayla Casey, Sophie Rosen, Ashley Brindle, Anisha Shadhari, and Ryan Williams.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for missing school for this. I trust you'll get caught up when you get back. Well, Coach, I want to start off by asking a little bit about you. You've been at South for quite some time. I wonder if there's, any benefits to being there. I think 17 years.
Well, I have, and I feel very humble and honored to be able to be not just at South Forsyth, but in my hometown, getting to do something that I love with young ladies that work hard every day and come excited to be part of the basketball program at South. Is there benefits to that? I think there is to some extent. Everybody knows who you are and you know who they are as they come through as well, but each season poses its own challenges, and you hope over time, no matter where you're at, that you're able to use some experiences from the past to meet those challenges head on.
Yeah, that could be a negative that everyone knows who you are too.
Yes, sir.
But ladies, he's been there virtually your whole life, right? So, a lot of coaches come and go, but to have that stability, knowing you're going to play for Coach Gravitt, is that something you look forward to when you're, middle school, JV?
It definitely gives satisfaction, you're going to have him and what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about expectations, you've got some underclassmen with some limited varsity experience. I know you got plenty of seniors, but I want to start off by asking about the underclassmen. Are you looking for any of them to be contributors right away?
Well, I'd like to point to my seniors first as I talk to them, because this group of seniors have been reaching out to them since last season in the spring and even in the winter to create those relationships that we all feel is very important to a successful basketball team, the chemistry that goes along with that. So, I'm very proud of the way they've been creating that relationship to begin with as a young group of players come in and represent almost half of our team. We have freshmen that represent almost half of the numbers on our team. And they've brought an energy to practice that has been a great mix with these seniors and the two juniors that we have on the team as well. So it's been a great combination out there.
Yeah, it's certainly great to have this many seniors. Is that something you've tried to cultivate throughout the years at South, is trying to, have the upperclassmen, show the underclassmen, this is how it's done, this is how you become leaders?
Well, it is something that I started doing about 10 years ago, and you see it. It was actually one year we didn't have any seniors on that team, and you realize as a head coach that you can't not have leaders. So what do we do to develop that? This group of seniors have been involved in a couple of different book reads that we do that have things to do with positive team culture, that has to do with forming leaders and what leaders have to do and all the different qualities that leaders have. And when I announced these young ladies as our captains this year, I made it a point to talk to them about the fact that each one of them have an important quality that a leader or leaders of a team has to have. One of them may not have all of those qualities, but combined they can be and create a great chemistry for our team as a leader.
Certainly, and I know fall signing day was last week. How was that, seeing a player go to the next level like that?
Well, it's always gratifying to see your players reach goals. We actually had 2 players signed to play at the next level, not just basketball. Ashley did his basketball, and Kayla did with lacrosse as well, and I look forward to some of our other players hopefully signing as the year goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got a few games underneath your belt at this point in the season, a few scrimmages, practices, what have you. What positives have you seen so far?
God, we play hard.
Yeah.
These young ladies, they get after it. They have a high level of energy. I can see the 4 years that these young ladies have played together starting to show even more this year. But they play so hard, and that has been our mottos from the summer. We talked about that. We want a high energy. We want to get after it every inch of the basketball court, and they haven't let me down, nor I don't think they've let themselves down in doing that in the scrimmages and games we've had so far.
Yeah, well, to anyone who wants to jump in, where's that energy come from?
We just try to make sure that everyone is always doing their best, because even if we're not shooting well, we're not executing as well on offense, if we have that same energy on defense, it could influence other things and help us push along and get back into it.
Yeah, motivation maybe from the coach?
Well, we all have motivation because our goal is to win. I mean, everyone wants to win, and we're all driven by the same thing, just to our same goal, win region.
Yeah.
So we're all just very highly motivated by that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one goal. I want to talk about goals, go around the room and maybe talk about team and maybe individual goals. Do you have any set for this season? How do you approach that?
Well, we did. We sat down as a team after our scrimmage. It was the day at practice after our scrimmage game, and we took time to say, okay, what's important to us being successful? And the players, we looked at some past goal sheets. We approach it from a game-to-game goal situation, and the players chose some game stats that we want to look at every game. And if we win in these categories, whether it's out rebounding a team, playing well in the third quarter, winning the third quarter, shooting a certain field goal or free throw percentage, we look at it as from game to game, if we can accomplish these goals that they've chosen, then we think the scoreboard will take care of itself. So that's, as far as that goes, they do have individual goals, and I'm proud of them for that, but I think the thing that every one of them, if you talk to them individually, they're going to say, we want our individual goals to meet what the team goal is, and the team goal comes first, and their individual goals will happen if we take care of the team goals.
Do y'all pretty much agree and see that being the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Good deal. Awesome.
Probably because I say it a lot.
And you're sitting right there. Well, I want to wrap up by asking you a quick question about what you need to do to be successful. You touched on a few things, but in terms of the technical component of the game, for South Forsyth to have a good season, the War Eagles need to do blank.
Ladies, why don't y'all answer that? Y'all know what we've got to do.
Play as a team, that's for sure.
Okay.
We definitely have to play as one. I mean, we're all such great friends. I think that's naturally going to carry over onto the court.
Yeah, definitely.
Just keep our same energy, keep the same dedication we have towards it. I really think we're going to surprise some people this year, because just all the energy, all the still commitment we have even more this year, I think we're really going to surprise everyone.
Yeah.
I think just rebounding, making sure to pass ahead, all the simple things to get out fast, because that's how we're going to try and play this year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, looking forward to seeing you all on the court. Thanks again for taking some time out of your schedule. Really appreciate it. And
I don't mind.
Well, we got to get you all back to class. So y'all join us after this. We'll have West Forsyth boys team. Cool. Easy. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day, hosted at North Forsyth High School. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by the West Forsyth boys basketball team led by Frederick Hurt. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Go ahead and introduce everyone. Tell us who you brought.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for putting this together. So beside me we have Brock Bidwell, and we have Joseph Stady. Joseph's very excited about being back this year. He missed the entire season last year with an injury. Next is Nick Zavatakis. Next is Jack Bach. And next is Sterling Johnson. Sterling is another one we're excited about. Went to middle school with all our guys, moved away, and now has moved back for his senior year. So we're very excited he's back with us.
Awesome. Welcome back. Welcome everyone to North Forsyth and our media day. I know before the season you said this might be one of your deepest teams. Why is that?
Well, we have we kept a huge team last year, and a lot of guys got a lot of experience, and we have a bunch of them back. And then we had Sterling as a senior, and we had Joseph back, who started as a sophomore for us. So we can go 10 deep easy with experience, and we're just very excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you touch on what the two of them do well, and what have you seen so far in having them back?
Well, really, Brock, Nick, and Jack all started last year on the perimeter for us, and they're all three really point guards. Yeah. But we feel like we can handle the ball well because we have three of them. And then Sterling and Joseph are really wing players, and so we're going to play with 3 point guards and 2 wings for a lot of the game. Now we do have some true posts that will sub in and play quite a bit. Russell Miller and Tyler Lane. Tyler's just coming off of football, so they'll give us some more size when they come in, and it gives us some versatility too. We can have a big lineup, we can go with a small lineup. We're just excited about it all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there's a lot of good guard play in this county. It seems like you guys kind of are able to differentiate yourselves from that and maybe have more to your dynamic than that. Do you see that being the case?
Well, I mean, guards is how the game is going now. Positionless basketball, everybody has to put it on the floor, but we can play a lineup that has a true back to the basket guy. And there's some other teams in the league. I mean, Lambert has a humongous kid, so there are other teams in the league that have that. But yeah, guards is the name of the game nowadays. So if you can't handle it, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, a couple of big wins to start the season. I think you got Gainesville next. Is that right? Is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow night. So a future region game.
That's right.
They'll be in the region with us. So yeah, we're excited about that. We had a good win over Mill Creek for our first game, and then beat Northview for our second game.
Yeah, Gainesville, good season last year. What do you think that'll tell you about your team, how you perform, against them?
We're not 100% sure how many football guys they'll have. We scouted them Friday night, but we don't really know how many football guys they were missing Friday night. So, but either way, they're a solid team, even if they got no football guys coming. So it'll be a good test for us, and we're just excited to get back on the court.
Yeah. How many football guys do you guys get back?
We only have one.
You only have one.
One. Tyler Lane, who was a part-time starter last year as a sophomore for the varsity team. So we're excited to do. He came into practice Saturday morning, ready to go.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That's a quick turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, we talked a little bit about the first couple of games. What positives have you seen? Scrimmages, practices. What have you seen from the team?
Well, I mean, kind of what we've already said, that we have different guys that can handle it. We have different guys that can shoot it. All of these guys have hit a three-pointer in a game already. They've all led the break at a different point. So just kind of well-versed with being able to be interchangeable. We're still, each day, I think we get more comfortable with each other. Sterling coming back to playing with the guys, and Joseph really playing a position, even though our main offense, we don't really have positions, but Joseph really playing a position that's not as natural to him if we have to run a certain set. So each day we're going to get more comfortable with those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And to the gentlemen who have mics, what positives have you seen so far in this young season?
I would say intensity. Our intensity is a lot higher than it has been, especially my years at West. We kind of picked up this year. We have higher expectations, so we work harder in practice. And obviously we've seen that in the first 2 games. We played a tough two games the first, and we came out with a win. So I think that was a big step for us. And that even makes practice, we go even harder now since we are starting the season on a good note.
Absolutely.
I feel we have a lot of experience coming back because a lot of the players on our team have been on varsity either last year or multiple years. And so with experience, we all know what we have to do. So we've really picked it up. And previous years, we've really focused on we've relied on scoring a lot to beat teams. But this year we know we have to play more defense and be more defensive minded to win the closer games.
Yeah. I know you have a brother on the team. Is that correct?
I do.
What's that dynamic like?
Obviously good chemistry. We've been playing with each other since we've been able to walk. So that helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zach, his brother, is the Energizer Bunny. And he is changing the game when he comes in because he is full of energy and he's everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, nice to have that, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wonder what your goals are for this season. Maybe some team goals, individual goals. Go around the room and just talk about that.
Well, we like to wait until we have a couple games under our belt. Really, we're waiting to get all our football guys usually before we sit down and set all our goals. So that's on the schedule for Wednesday. Wednesday's the start of practice. We'll sit down and we'll name team goals. These guys have been putting together some individual goals on their own, and we'll talk about those on Wednesday as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we'll save that for later. With you all being seniors, I mean, is there a sense of urgency for y'all to put together a really solid season and kind of go out on top?
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, it's our last year, so obviously we all want to do as best as we can. And for us, I think our goal would be to finish on top.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I'll leave you with this one. If you could sum it up in 2-3 words, for West Forsyth to have a good season this year, the Wolverines need to do blank.
2 or 3 words. Well, I would say need to stay engaged because with so many returning players, sometimes they're like, oh, well, we've done this, we know this. That hasn't been an issue yet, but I would say need to stay engaged and focus on the next game. We have been good at that the last few years, not looking ahead. And a lot of these guys are anxious to get to some county games, but we got some growing things to do ahead of that. So I would say staying engaged and not looking ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looking forward to seeing you all out on the court. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And stick around. We're going to have West Forsyth's girls team next. So we'll see you in a minute. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News. Right now I'm joined by the Lady Wolverines of West Forsyth and head coach David May. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to start off by having you introduce who you brought with you today.
Okay, well I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kayla Cower. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Maggie. I'm a senior.
I'm Callie. I'm a sophomore. I'm Kaylee. I'm a sophomore.
All right, welcome. Good to have you here. Lots of sophomores there, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, I want to start off by talking about the start to your season. You played a couple of games already. Some big wins to start off with. Well, are you happy with the results so far?
I mean, you're always happy with a win, so yeah, we're happy with that. You know, I don't think we're totally happy with how we played so far. It's just being early in the year, a lot of things being discombobulated all over the place. You know, to get 3 wins and, you know, to go to Mill Creek and get a win was a good one. To win the way we did Saturday, really proud of the girls for that one. So, you know, the final result has been very good for us, but, you know, we still have a lot of stuff to improve on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I counted 3 sophomores with you today. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that sort of the makeup of your team this year?
I mean, mostly sophomores. You know, I think we have 4 seniors, a couple juniors, and a few sophomores. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, you know, you've been at West for quite some time.
Yeah.
You've taken on you've taken West on a few runs. Pardon me. What's it going to take for this team to sort of get back to that level? Do you see them doing that this year?
I think just a more consistent focus. Right now, we are kind of up and down a little bit in just how we practice. And that's carried over into the game so far, which, you know, is typically what happens. So just a more consistent focus in practice and, you know, a more sense of urgency, I think, are the 2 biggest areas that we need to improve on.
Yeah, absolutely. For anyone who wants to jump in, is that consistency something you're kind of working on right now?
We are during practice, but I think that kind of showed in our Saturday game. Like, at first we were kind of off to a rough start, and then we got it back in the 4th quarter, but what we need to do is just be consistent throughout the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what are some positives that you've seen so far?
I mean, girls have had great attitude so far, have been working hard. We have a lot of girls who play a lot in the off season. So, you know, they've done a lot of good things in order to make themselves better players from last year to this year. Now it's just kind of, you know, putting all of those pieces together and getting everyone, you know, on the same page.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to jump in, any positives that you've seen individually or as a team?
I think defensively we've definitely picked it up because last year it was they would score, we'd have to score back because we couldn't stop them on the defensive end. But this year we're picking it up on that side just so we'll have the advantage offensively and get a stop on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really seems like North Forsyth has set the benchmark. They're kind of the team to beat right now. How do you see yourselves kind of stacking up against them this year?
Well, we haven't very well the last couple of years. So, you know, they have practically their entire roster back from, you know, back-to-back Final Four runs. So, you know, everyone's really chasing them. I think we're in that pack that's chasing them, and that's what we talk about being more consistent. You know, they are the most disciplined team for 4 quarters in our region by a long margin. So in order to even compete with them and the level that they play at, you have to be, you know, disciplined for 4 quarters. So that's what, when we talk about consistency, you know, that's one thing that is, you know, separates us from what they are.
Yeah, certainly, and I'm sure consistency is probably one of those team goals, but I've been asking all the teams about their team goals, individual goals. Do you have any off the top of your head? Have you set any at this point in the season?
We have not sat down as a team and said, hey, this is our team goal right now, and you know, we know where we fall into place in the region and what our region looks like. Right now, you know, we're just more worried about just becoming a better team. And, you know, that's kind of what we go into every practice with our focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been ending every interview with this question. If you can, 2, 3, 4 words for West Forsyth to be successful this year, the Wolverines need to do blank.
I'll let these girls.
All right.
Handle that.
3 words?
You know, just short sentence.
I think boxing out because we're small guards and we just need to keep the game fast paced and get the boards.
Definitely.
I think sprinting's a good word. I think sprinting back on D and also pushing the ball up the floor, which we could use to to get our points. So.
And like Coach May said, being consistent and focused.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all good answers. Looking forward to seeing you all out in the court. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to return after this with the Pinecrest boys basketball team, so keep it locked to here. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by the Pinecrest Academy boys basketball team, led by John Bowersfield. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want you to tell us who you brought with you.
Sure. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
All right.
So.
I'm Josh Bowie.
Caleb Bone.
Hank Lynch.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Good to be here. Can you say a brief sentence about each of them?
Sure. So these are three senior captains. They've each been on varsity since they were freshmen. This is their second year playing with me. It's my second year here. So all three starters and really integral parts of what we do day in and day out.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned second year. Your first year here, Sweet 16 appearance. What was that like? I'm sure you put it behind you at this point, but take me through that if you can.
That was fun. I mean, it was being my first year down here was a little bit of an adjustment, getting to know the teams, things like that. But we got off to a really strong start last year. Got into league play and kind of struggled a little bit in the middle, but then closed really well and actually earned a home playoff game, which was really neat. The school had never been to the GHSA playoffs before, so for us to get there and then get a home game was really a great experience for our school. And to get that win, and then we lost the eventual state champion in the next round. So
right. Did any of you expect that coming into last season?
We had high expectations. We knew what coach was going to bring to the table. We knew what we had, so I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. We had two freshmen stepped up big, Oscar Lynch and JJ. They came in and played basically as seniors. It was cool. Yeah. And then we had us three as juniors. It was really cool.
Yeah. And I know you have a head coaching pedigree. You coached in a pretty competitive high school basketball before you get to Pinecrest. I wonder how that compares to here.
There are some differences,
Absolutely.
but there are no matter where you go, kids are kids, right? So there's a little bit different as far as the approach to how you build a program. Up north where I was, it was basically like a college program. You recruit, and if you couldn't recruit and you didn't recruit, you weren't going to stay competitive. So obviously at Pinecrest, that's not something we're doing. You know, we're not out. I'm not out watching 7th and 8th grade games, which I used to do. But coaching kids is the same. You know, no matter what level they are, you know, you work with them and you hold high expectations for them, and you know, hope that they meet them.
Yeah,
which these guys do.
Yeah, certainly. And what steps have you taken to sort of build the program at Pinecrest?
Hank, what do you think?
Well, as soon as Coach got here, he instilled in us effort, attitude, together, and toughness. So that just basically means like we play as a family, and we will out-tough any opponent we face. So like during practices, yeah, like we do a lot of conditioning, but like that builds our toughness. And that's just going to build a culture of just grind and work, and then that'll just build into our like a program that we need, and then turns into a successful program because we're going to be able to outwork and out-hustle the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know when we were putting together our previews for boys basketball, you said that JJ and Oscar might have pretty good seasons. Obviously, they did last year. What are you looking for them this year?
I think both of them are capable of stepping up and scoring more for us. You know, I mean, I think we have 3 strong scorers here that they proved last year, and you know, if JJ and Oscar can step up and give us some additional production, that'll really help us. And then Drew Lair, you know, our other senior, who's probably, you know, is our 6th man, as well, had a really great summer and just continues to develop as well, so he can give us some point production off the bench also.
Yeah, what's the region looking like right now? Did a lot of teams bring back a lot of players?
Yeah, everybody returns, pretty much everyone. So St. Francis is loaded, and then Walker brings back everybody. Mount Bethel pretty much brings back everybody except one big guy. But the kid Necka just signed with Tech, didn't he? So they're pretty good. Whitfield's always strong. Pisgah returns everybody except for their leading scorer, Quinn Ritchie, but they're very talented. So our region is really, really good. For single A private, it is a really strong region.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got a few games underneath your belt already. A couple of wins, right?
1-1.
1-1. What positives have you seen so far? I know you mentioned that you guys can shoot the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Any others?
I think defensively, I really like where we are. We're way ahead of where we were last year. You know, I think we've held both teams to under 50. Unfortunately, we only scored 45 in one of those games. But defensively, I really like where we are. Been able to focus more offensively in the last week of practice or so to try to get us moving in that front. But you know, their togetherness is probably their greatest strength. They really don't care who gets the credit or who shines, or they're hungry to do well on the court. Yeah. I think that's their greatest asset.
Yeah, and I want to go around the room, ask about goals for this season. Have you set team goals, maybe some individual goals? What's that like?
Go ahead.
As a team, obviously we want to repeat what we did last year in the postseason, try to make it farther, but just play together, play hard and give everything we got.
Yeah.
As a team, I'd probably just say become more of a unit. I would say it's fun, people scoring and stuff, but if we could be like just become one, it'd be really cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd say as a team, especially us juniors, is like to grow the younger guys. Like O and J, they're only in their sophomore year. So I'd say like as a team, especially us 3, to help them grow. So like when we leave, our program is still strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good goals there. And I want to end by asking you, you know, for Pinecrest to be successful this season, if you could narrow it down to one thing, the Paladins must do blank.
We must take care of the ball. We got to take care of the ball. If we can limit our turnovers, that'll give us additional possessions. I think defensively we'll be good enough we'll bring that every night, but we got to value the ball so we can get, you know, efficient shots.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, certainly looking forward to seeing you all out in the court. I want to thank you again for coming out and taking some time out of your schedule. Stick with us. We'll be back with the Pinecrest girls after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by the Pinecrest Academy girls basketball team led by Jonathan Ovchensky. Coach, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. Start off by introducing who you brought with you.
Sure. So I've got my two captains here. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Sarah Brown. I'm a senior this year.
I'm Megan Sullivan. I'm a junior.
Welcome. All right, good deal. Well, we talked about this a little bit off camera. What's it like coaching at your alma mater? I know you went to Pinecrest.
Sure. Yeah, it's really cool being back. A lot of faces still the same in the community, and just a really great culture, really great community. And so it's cool to be able to come back and to a place that I'm really familiar with and try to keep a lot of the things strong that were strong while I was there. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Certainly, and I want to keep the focus on you again real quick. Do you consider yourself part of the Andy Landers coaching tree?
I have Coach Landers a lot to thank. Was able to spend 2 short years working under him, really learned a lot from him, and just a lot of heavy emphasis on defense and playing hard-nosed and tough and gritty, and it was cool to gain a lot of insight and knowledge from him, so that was a special opportunity for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarah and Megan, what are some things that they bring to the program, maybe do well on the court?
Yeah, really can't thank these two enough. They've been in the program for 3 years now, both of them, and they bring a lot of grittiness, a lot of hard work, a lot of great effort, and they're really the catalysts behind our team and what we need. They're not only are they hardworking on the basketball court, but everything they do off the court is what you would want from somebody on your team and representing your program. So just can't thank them enough for everything they do for us.
Yeah, definitely. I want to switch it up a little bit. Sarah, if you can give me a scouting report on Megan, and if Megan, you can give me a scouting report on Sarah. What are things that y'all see each other do well on the court?
Well, personally, I know that if I work my butt off, she's always going to have my back. So I never have to doubt like us working together, because I started basketball and she started basketball as a freshman, and so it's always been us two together, like working through the difficulties, getting through it all, and it's always been us two. So I guess I always have her.
And for Sarah, she's probably the #1 person on the team I can always expect 100% energy from. She puts all of her effort into every single game, and anytime team energy is low, she's always there to make sure everyone has positive attitude and just working hard every minute of every game. So.
Yeah, important things that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet. But I know you've already got a couple of games underneath your belt, right? So what are some positives that you've seen so far this year?
Yeah, so coming into this season, we looked at our strengths and looked at our personnel a little bit, and we decided to change some things up a little bit. Last year was very much, this is what we have and this is what we know. So this year we're trying a couple new things out, and we're really starting to see a lot of the connections, and things are starting to click a little bit as far as making sure we're in the right positions and knowing where we can create turnovers and get out into passing lanes. So that's been really positive so far, and we're just going to keep making that the emphasis and keep learning and keep getting better every single game. And the girls come in day in and day out, giving their best. They'll play 4 quarters hard, and I really appreciate them for that. So
yeah, can I ask you to tip your hand a little bit? What are some of those things you've changed up?
Yeah, so we're playing a new defense this year. Just trying to create some havoc, I guess, and trying to find some different ways to create turnovers and maybe get into a little bit of trapping, a little bit of full court, slowly but surely. And it's just a work in progress. So we're trying to build up from the foundations and make sure we've got that set. And once we have that, then we'll really start getting after it. So
yeah, certainly. And I want to go around the room and talk about goals this season. Have you set team goals? Any individual goals? Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think ultimately, everybody would like to be able to make the state playoffs. But really, with our team, for sure, every day we're just trying to come in and get better. And as long as we can work on ourselves and be able to say, hey, we gave our best in this practice, we gave our best at the end of this game, then we'll let the results speak for themselves. And so I think that's just really the overall goal. And if we can come out and give our best every single day, then we'll let the results take us wherever they're going to go. So that's the overall goal.
Yeah,
for sure.
And a big help is coach sets our like team goals each game. So like whether it's like 8 rebounds or like 2 like pushing up the court type of things, that really helps us to like, this is what we can do this game, this is how we can get better. And it actually, once we get those, then it becomes something new, and then you build off of what you get. So I think it's really good.
Right.
Yeah, like Sarah said, and we're trying to center our focus a lot on goals that like are achievable. You can't always control You know, you can't affect your height, how many shots you're making, but you can always affect how hard you're working on the rebounds, forcing turnovers, getting steals. Anything that requires effort is what we can control and what we need to do our best on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to end by asking you about this question that I've asked every team so far. For Pinecrest to have a good season this year, if you could sum it up in 2, 3, 4 words, short sentence, the Paladins must do blank.
We have to create turnovers.
Yeah.
Whenever you create turnovers, you take the ball out of the other team's hand and you put yourself in a position to try to get out and score. And so in order for us to be at our best, we're going to have to be aggressive. We're going to have to create turnovers, get steals, defensive rebounds, and then try to get out and get some easy buckets on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, certainly looking forward to covering you all this year. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. And we'll come right back and we'll talk some Horizon basketball. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by the Horizon Christian boys basketball team. Coach, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I wonder if you can go ahead and just tell us who you got and give them a brief introduction.
Today here I have junior Malachi Mathis. He plays guard forward for us. I have Ben Reisinger. He's returning. He's a senior. And he's playing point guard and shooting guard for us. And I have returning junior power forward, Camden Moore. He's also a junior. Like I said, he's returning.
Nice. Some returners here for you this year. And I know you coached the girls basketball team last year, but not this year. Does that give you more time to focus on the boys basketball team?
It does.
What kind of benefits does that bring?
Just practice time, just more time to spend with them, trying to get that chemistry together, which we'll need this year.
Yeah. How come?
We lost a lot. We lost 5 seniors.
Yeah.
And so it's I have a new group coming in, so it's going to be a lot of guys that that chemistry is going to have to be there. So I'm going to have to spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah, I know you lost one to injury too, right?
Yeah, so I lost a big injury this year. John Bachner, he's a junior this year. He'll be a senior next year, but I lost him to an ACL injury.
Okay.
So but he'll be healthy and ready to go next year.
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone who wants to jump in, what's it like going into this year, knowing that you're young and you need to, sort of grow, but the future's kind of ahead of you. So what's that like going into the season?
It's different. We've last couple of years we've had a lot of people with experience playing, so we just got a bunch of people coming in. We need to all get those games together, like get our experience up, and then we should be all right.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. But the good thing about that is we start later than other teams, so we have more time to build the chemistry, get the new guys implemented. So that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, it's a different play style than we usually have. We usually play like slower paced, and now they're all smaller, fast paced, run the fast breaks.
Yeah, try to make up the difference.
Yeah.
Have y'all played, how many games have y'all played so far?
We haven't played any games.
No games so far. Have you played any scrimmages or anything?
No scrimmages yet.
Pretty green right now. Then.
Yeah, so this happens every year for us.
Yeah.
We football ends. I'm also the football coach, so we end late, and then what we do is we take it straight 2 weeks and we get hard into basketball because a lot of the football players play basketball.
Yeah.
So we take two straight weeks to just grind it out and get our chemistry there and get situated for the season.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't started basketball season yet, then maybe off-season workouts or things like that. What have you seen? Sort of some positives coming into the season.
Positives coming into the season is we shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the football players, like I said, majority of the football players play basketball. So a lot of those guys are already in shape. So we're already running.
Yeah.
So that's a big positive.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a good thing that they're already conditioned.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to go around the room and kind of talk about goals, if you don't mind. You probably haven't set too many team goals at the moment, but maybe if you have some individual goals or anything like that, if you have anything to share.
So our main goal, we all work together, is to get better every day. So that's kind of like collectively as a team, how we see our practice, just every day get better, take another step up, and just keep building throughout the season, every practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's always been our team goal to get better every day, but I think it has a way bigger role this year just because we have new people that have never played with us come in, and I think getting better every day is very crucial now just because we have to build the chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they said, getting better. We had to work on the small things this year. We don't have very much size this year. We lost all of our big men, so we're playing small ball. We got to work on the small things, just finishing everything we do.
Yeah, and I know you guys have had some success in the past, definitely. What was it like coming up to the program and kind of seeing that success the past few years, knowing that once you get to high school, you get to be kind of a part of that?
It's been good, kind of watching and learning from the older people playing as this might be my third year playing on this team, and we've made it deep into the state playoffs both of those years, and just kind of learning from those guys what it takes to make it that far, and then translating that into our practices this year and how we want to keep going in our program.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll end on this. You talked a little bit about playing fast and playing together. But if you could sum it up into one specific thing, if Horizon has a good year this year, it'll be because blank.
It'd be because conditioning and just chemistry.
Yeah.
It goes right back to chemistry. Because right now, I've never ever asked our kids since I've been there. We always play half-court game.
Yeah.
Always play. So now I'm asking them to. This is uncharted waters for us. I'm asking them to run fast. Even when we're scrimmaging now at practice, they're just running. And so it's gonna be how fast we can pick up that style.
Yeah.
It'll be because of that.
Right. Looking forward to seeing how it turns out for y'all. Thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And stick with us. We'll be back, I believe, with Lambert's boys basketball team after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now we're joined by the Lambert boys basketball, led by Coach Scott Bracco. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I wonder if you can go ahead and start by introducing who you brought with you.
Brought a big man, Colin Granger, Luke Champion, Braxton Beatty, Will Baker.
Okay, welcome everyone. Can you go ahead and just tell us, give us a brief description about what each of them brings to the program?
Oh, they bring a lot.
Yeah.
We're excited to have them. They played a lot last year, so they bring a lot of experience back. Colin has signed with Ohio University, one of the best big men in the state. Luke is he's signed with Sanford University, considered one of the top shooters in the state. And Braxton has a Navy offer.
Nice.
Very explosive point guard. And Will Baker brings a lot of leadership to the team and a phenomenal shooter.
Yeah, and that's certainly something that you have plenty of is leadership in this squad. You know, lots of upperclassmen. What are the benefits to having that? It might seem like a simple question, but it's definitely welcomed, right?
Well, I think most successful teams must have great senior leadership, and I think that's what we have this year.
Yeah, certainly. And I know you guys get Woodward coming up. I think that's in the Jerry Cook Classic. Is that right?
That's right.
So I know that's a big challenge for you guys. Will you know what will you know after that game? Will that be kind of a litmus test for you so far?
We're definitely going to learn a lot about ourselves after Woodward. But I think we play a monster schedule right now. We opened up with Brookwood.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about ourselves with Brookwood, and then we played a great discovery team. So every game we're learning something new about this squad, because we do have the leadership right here, but we also have a lot of new players to the team, to the varsity.
Yeah.
So we do have some youth to go along with the senior leadership.
Yeah. Who are some of those young players?
Right now we have Jackson Green, and he was on our team last year. Got some good minutes. Brandon Stoudemire. We have a freshman, A.J. McElwain. His brother played with us a couple years ago.
Okay.
We just have tons of depth.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I look at this year's team, it reminds me of the 2016 team, when we can go 12-13 down the line and still be successful on the court. And hopefully we can duplicate that season, because they were like 27-3.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned the tough schedule before, the out-of-region schedule. You're going to play some tough teams. That's probably intentional, right? I mean, you guys have plenty of success in the past. Is that something that you do intentionally to kind of see where you're at early?
Absolutely. Not only early, but to help us prepare for a state championship run at the end of the season.
Yeah, certainly. And with a few games under your belt, what positives have you seen so far?
Well, we've got a lot to work on.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But we are playing better defense early on. It's tough to be locked in on the defensive end. We're sharing the ball well, but we need to do it a little bit better. But we're playing together, and I think the kids are having fun with each other.
Yeah, and anyone who wants to jump in, I mean, what positives have you seen so far this season?
There's just a lot of people getting involved. I mean, I think this year more than any, we have more people coming in every game, contributing in some way, and I mean, we're just kind of learning as we go. Like you were talking about how we're kind of with the Woodward game. I feel like it's kind of every game, and that's every season you learn, game in and game out throughout the season. So, I mean, it's just been fun so far. Just the fact that we've gotten so many people involved and been 2-0.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we have a really close-knit team, and helps with the flow of the game and how we operate. So it's been fun just playing with everyone, and we're all close.
Yeah, definitely. And I know the two of you signed on last week. I think it was Monday, early last week. What was that like for y'all? A special moment?
It was awesome. It's cool just to be there and do the whole thing they have put on for you, and just be in front of your friends and family and stuff. And it's obviously a dream, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. To get to that point, so it's cool to just kind of sit back and kind of you did it. So
yeah,
that was cool for me.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was an incredible moment. All that hard work that you've put in, just
feels like it pays off, and it's a great feeling. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably have more later. Look forward to that. But Coach, you talked a little bit about goals earlier, kind of liking the team to the 2016 team. I wonder if you have one specific team goal, or if any of you have any individual goals that you'd like to share.
Well, I mean, they all have individual goals, and one of our goals for every player is to improve every day and make everyone else better on your team. But as for team goals, we do have an expectation and a standard, and our goal every year is to win a state championship.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd like to end by asking you, if Lambert has a great season this year, it will be because the Longhorns did blank.
Let's see here. Anybody want to help me out with that one?
If we had a great season this year, we
all did our roles. Like we all
did our roles.
Yeah.
I think where we lack, it's if we have a championship defense, I think that'll take us furthest.
Yeah.
Because we score, every year he always brings up. We're faster than everybody usually, and we score no matter what. So it's usually the defense we have to work on.
Yeah, I think to answer that question, I would say great senior leadership, tremendous team chemistry, and we always tell them that you cannot predict the future. You can only prepare for it. So that's what we're trying to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, definitely. Well, certainly looking forward to seeing you all out in the court. Thank you so much for joining us. Stick around. Next, we're going to have Lambert's girls basketball team right after this. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now we're joined in studio by the Lambert girls basketball team, coached by Brian Moon. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Can you go ahead and just start off by introducing who you brought with you?
Yeah, I got junior guard Taylor Parrish, guard Riley Stevens, and Maddie Sherrick is kind of a guard and a forward for us. Plays a little bit everywhere, but they're both seniors, and Taylor's a junior.
Okay, well, welcome in everyone. Well, this is your first season at Lambert, but you're no stranger to the area. So does that give you a leg up sort of going into this first year?
Well, I don't know, but I have been around for a little bit. I guess it's my 9th year here in the county coaching and teaching, and I've been pretty blessed to get to work with a good group of girls, and I'm really looking forward to our season.
Yeah. What did you see from the squad the first time the first practice?
Well, we're real young. Yeah. First of all, we only have like 3 girls that played varsity basketball experience. And matter of fact, I talked to Riley, came in and shot yesterday, and I said, I didn't look at our stats to see how much she played. And I said, how much she played? How much you think you played? She goes, Coach, I played yesterday more than I played all season last year. So she probably played a little bit over half the game. So that kind of tells you our inexperience that we have, but we're just going to try to get better every game and try to improve.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just 2 region wins last year. What's the state of this team right now?
Well, we're 1-0, so we're going to just try to take, every game, at a time and just try to improve every day. I'm not really looking at the record that much. I just want to see our kids try to get better and feel like they're getting better every day.
Yeah, well, you can't have a better record after 1 game than 1-0.
That's right.
What kind of positives have you taken away from that game?
Well, just more than that game, just our season. First of all, I got a bunch of girls that I really think they believe in what we're trying to do, which I think is the first and foremost thing. If you're going to be successful, you got to believe in what you're doing, and they got great work ethic. And probably more than anything, I think the greatest thing is we got good team chemistry. I think they really like each other on and off the court, which I think is really positive if you're going to have a good team.
Yeah, and for anyone who wants to jump in, I mean, what's the biggest positive for this team?
I feel like all of us have been really close. Like, we've all played on different teams in the past. Like Coach said, we have a very young team. So being able to have all of these girls from different teams come together this year under a new coach and have this great of chemistry and just being able to play together is really important. And,
yeah.
Well, and to back off of hers, I feel like our team chemistry is super good, but we also feel like we have a good coach backing us up, and he's there teaching us and making sure that we each know what we're supposed to be doing and what our roles are.
Yeah, certainly. And I know you coached boys basketball before too. Is there any difference between coaching boys basketball and girls basketball?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I coach them like guys.
Yeah.
I really think I do.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of tiers we've had this year, it's been pretty much But I really do. I think coaching's coaching.
Yeah.
And I've coached girls in the past in different sports.
Right.
But I just coach them all the same, to be honest with you.
Yeah, certainly. Well, let's go around the room and talk about goals right now. I don't know if you've set many individual or team goals at this point in the season, but if you have, what are they?
Well, I don't know if it's number one is trying to find out kind of who can do what, and I'm starting to see a little bit through practice, of course, and through games. You can see how kids react, So I would say that's probably the main goal, is just to kind of identify some roles for the kids as the season moves on.
Yeah. Any individual or team goals for y'all?
I feel like it's just getting better as a team. It's going to be it's definitely a big change for all of us. So I think just, building our relationships with each other. And I think Coach Moon has done a great job so far of getting to know all of us individually, because that's hard to do, especially with having girls who haven't even played together for a while. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to end by asking, if Lambert has a great season this year, it'll be because the Longhorns did blank. If you can answer in a short word or two.
I know I keep saying this, but I just think improve daily, and try to. I talked to these girls the other day about our first game we had, and talked to them about trying to do things better than they did the previous game. Maybe cut down on a turnover or two. Don't make the same mistake over and over.
Yeah.
So we actually did that. We turned the ball over a good bit against Alpharetta in our scrimmage, and the other night against Denmark, I think we had one turnover the first half. So I think we did better there. We just got to make more shots. So that would help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly something to look forward to. Looking forward to seeing you all out in the court this year. Thanks so much for joining us. And stick around. We're going to be talking Denmark boys basketball after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News, and right now I'm joined by the Denmark boys basketball team, head by Tyler Whitlock. Coach, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I wonder if you can go ahead and just introduce who you brought today.
Yeah, right here we've got 3 of our seniors here. We've got Adonis Tolbert, we've got Carson Knevy, and Michael Doherty.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. You guys have had a couple of games underneath your belt, right?
Yeah, we played 2 games so far, able to come out with victories in both of them. Not playing as well as we'd like to, but finding ways to win, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I know we talked before the season about setting up a difficult schedule.
Yeah.
Right now, you can't get better than 2-0, right?
That's right.
Are you happy with the results? Not necessarily wins, losses, but what you've seen on the court?
We still have a lot of room for improvement. There's areas we got to start playing a lot more physically tough and mentally tough in situations. We got to learn how to click a little bit. Bringing back everybody from last season is always a positive, being able to do that. But just constantly reminded that we can't accomplish this year's goals based on what we did last year. We got to go back to work and get better every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And for any player who wants to jump in, I mean, you guys didn't lose any seniors, obviously, off last year's team. So just coming in with that camaraderie, that chemistry, what's that been like for y'all?
Well, it's been nice, when you can bring back your whole team and then you can add pieces. When you bring in, your old talent and you can just make it better, then it obviously sets you up for higher goals. As you know, we performed pretty well last year. So having to bring everybody back, we still have that winning mentality together. It's just, reestablishing it and, getting back into the flow and filling out our new pieces.
Yeah. And do y'all talk about that playoff run anymore? I mean, I know it's last season. You probably want to put it behind you. Are there any allusions to that?
No, I think everybody else likes to talk about it. I think everybody else, we definitely have a different approach as far as we understand that, now everybody knows who we are. Last year we came in as underdogs. Nobody really knew what we had to offer. And now everybody kind of knows what we are, so we know that we're going to get everybody's best every single night we step on the floor. And so there's no sneaking up on anybody. We've got to come ready to play every single night that we play.
Yeah, and I know previously we talked about integrating those football players into the team. Yeah. Now you have a shot to do that. Has that started already? What's that process like?
We'll start that tomorrow. We're going to take today off. We don't play a game this week, so we're going to take the day off, and we'll get after it tomorrow, start adding those pieces in, and start finding some chemistry with them.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It really is.
Definitely, and I know you were eager to see how your non-football players performed, before that squad came out. Yeah. Have you kind of gotten a chance to mess around with rotations and kind of experiment?
Yeah, we played a lot with our rotations. We give a lot of guys an opportunity to show what they can do on the floor, and we've seen some definite positives from kids that we weren't sure what they would be able to do. Bryce Parker's played phenomenal for us for the first 2 games, and so it's nice to know that we have that added depth, especially now that we're bringing out the football guys.
Yeah, certainly. And one big storyline is obviously Robert Coward. Good as advertised?
Yeah. He's one of the best players I've ever coached. The best part about him is he comes and works hard every single day, and he's extremely coachable. So it's not just the level of talent that he brings to the floor, but just his eagerness to become the best player he can be. So that's what makes it really fun.
Yeah. Well, at the risk of making this all about one player, how have you guys seen that in practice? What's it like playing against him? Obviously a high-profile kid. I mean, he's got to make you guys better too, right? Just seeing that in practice every day.
I've known him for a while, and he's always been a hard worker. And he always knows what he wants and how he can get it. And he's shown that a lot this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think it would be, take a little time with him being a new piece of the team, that it'd take a while to build chemistry, but a lot of us have known him for a little while, so he's fitting right in.
Yeah, it sort of feels like he's always been here. So in practice, it doesn't really feel like we're missing a beat whenever we're playing with him. So it's great to have him, and he's pretty much done nothing but add to our team.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a good thing for sure. I don't know if you set any team or personal goals at this point in the season, but if so, I'd like to go around the room, just talk about goals for the season.
I'll let him start.
Sounds good.
State championship, 100%.
Yeah.
That's the big goal.
Biggest goal. I definitely say we just want to keep the winning mentality. The biggest part would be staying hungry for us, because there'll be a lot of games where we'll probably be expected to win because of our talent, but if we get laxed and we just let ourselves get complacent, it would be easy for us to come off flat and be taken off guard and lose. So the biggest part is making sure we keep our eyes on the goal, which can be hard with a 25-game season. So if we can stay hungry and stay prepared for each game, I think we'll be very good this season.
Yeah, definitely. How's the region shaping up this year? I know you won't get into region for quite some time, but what's the scouting report?
It's going to be very interesting this year. I think several teams will be much better than they were last year. I know White County is playing pretty well right now. Chesapeake's playing really well right now, and then of course, predominantly with Blessed Trinity and Marist, they're perennially very good teams. So I'm also very interested with Flower Branch having a new coach to see what they do. So there's a lot of question marks for us. But I think for us is just maintaining our focus on ourselves to be the very best we can be every day, and just be prepared for whatever.
Yeah, certainly. And I'll wrap up with this. I've been asking all the teams this. If you can sum it up to one short sentence, if Denmark does reach that state championship game this year, it'll be because the Danes did blank.
I would. We earned the right. There you go.
That's the motto, right?
That is. That's the motto.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Well, we'll be paying close attention. Looking forward to covering y'all. I want to thank you again for coming out and taking time out of your schedule. Absolutely. Well, stick with us. We'll have Denmark's girls basketball team after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forsyth County News Media Day. My name is David Roberts, sports editor at the Forsyth County News. And right now I'm joined by the Denmark girls basketball team led by Jamie Maxey. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Certainly. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I wonder if we can go ahead and start just by having you introduce who you brought with you.
Sure. This is Leah Kelly and Clarissa Kelly. Triplets. We're missing the boy. But they're both juniors on our team.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Well, last year was the first year, obviously. You set the foundation last year. So where do you go from here? What's the state of the program in year two?
Yeah. So last year was a challenge for us. We were taking girls that pretty much played 9th grade or 8th grade basketball, and they were starting on a varsity team the next year. So there was a lot of growth last year. We were a completely different team from day one to the last day of the season. And so this year we're just trying to build on that. We still have a very young team. We still don't have any seniors. We have about half the team is probably 9th graders, so still really young. but we're just trying to get better every day.
Yeah, definitely. How tough was that last year? You know, I mean, as a coach, you can kind of see the grand scheme of things, knowing that, you know, there's a future that you're building toward. But as players, I mean, how do you not get down on yourselves, and how do you not let them get down on themselves?
I mean, it was hard last year to not get as many wins as you would like, you know. But, you know, you just have to stay positive. Just keep working hard at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And wins will come later if you keep working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you see the progression throughout the course last year?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot better since last year. We worked really hard.
Yeah, definitely. Well, where do you set the expectations this year? How competitive do you plan to be?
I mean, obviously, we all want to compete. We want to be competitive. Last year, we finished 7th in our region, so you know we'd like to finish top 4, top 5 this year. We're taking it day by day and continuing to compete and get better every day.
Yeah. And so you're 2 of 3 triplets, is that right?
Yeah.
So already you got the camaraderie thing down, right? Between the 2 of them, at least. What's that like playing with your sister, to both of you?
I mean, we kind of, a lot of people say like twin telepathy or whatever, but like it's easier to know where she is on the court and like what she's gonna do because we are with each other like all day, every
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like nice knowing like I can rely on her and like we can do a play and like shoot and everything good.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of the same for you?
Yeah, I mean, we just rely on each other and like, I don't know, I feel like we just know where each other are on the court.
Yeah.
And
that
Yeah.
chemistry's there.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned you have a brother, right?
Yeah.
Pardon my ignorance, but does he play any sports?
He doesn't, he used to, but now he's just a skateboarder.
Okay. All right. Well, that definitely counts as a sport for sure. I know you got a couple of games underneath your belt already. What are some positives that you've taken away from those?
Yeah, we've actually already played 3 games, so a lot more than other teams. And we came out with a win in our first game, which was huge for them. I mean, last year we picked up our first win halfway through the year. So to get that early on was just, I was excited for them because they've worked so hard for it.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of things to improve on, but those things, that gap is getting smaller and smaller every game.
Yeah.
So we have another game this week against a Forsyth County opponent.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we can get out there and get the job done.
Yeah, and obviously it's a long season, but how did it feel to get that win underneath your belt your first try?
It felt really good.
Yeah.
You know, it made all of the work that we put in last year, it just made it feel so much better that we won our first game.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was like kept working hard, and then to get that win right off the bat was really nice.
Yeah, definitely rewarding. And we talked a little bit about expectations, but if you have any team goals, individual goals, what are those if you've set any at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think, you know, as far as a relationship between me and the players, we're setting an individual, but we're really more focused on the team overall. And you know, we just want to compete. That's the biggest thing. Like I said, last year we finished at the bottom of the region. We want to come in the top 5 this year. That's our main goal. But really, just working to get better every day and focusing on the small things is what we've been harping on in practice.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, that's how I've been ending all the interviews. But if Denmark is successful this year, it will be because blank. If you can give me a short answer or 1 or 2 specific things that you guys need to do well on the court.
When Denmark is successful this year.
Good point.
It's because of I would say it's our chemistry, our hard work. We just really have a great group of kids. And I'm fortunate to get to know them and coach them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, certainly looking forward to seeing you out there when you're successful. And thanks for carving out some time to be with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's it. Actually, that's all of the Forsyth County basketball teams today. So thanks for joining us, and drop us a line in the comments, and be sure to follow us along on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in.